Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, the podcast, a new episode, a new week. I know a bunch of you guys are actually new here. Thank you for coming onto my channel. I think most of you guys that are new from the past few weeks are coming from Dill's video, and I really appreciate you guys for watching that video and supporting him. He worked so hard to get that video out, and he's finally found a style where he can be authentic and edit in a really engaging way while also storytelling. So he definitely deserves all the attention, and I'm sure he's feeling all the things right now. So I really appreciate you guys for supporting him, and thank you for choosing to come onto my channel. I hope you guys stay for the content, but if you are waiting for some kind of follow-up or continuation of that situation, I'll just let you know ahead of time that is not going to happen. It's not my style, and I have important things to talk about. So, hi, Buffalo. If you're new here, which some of you guys might be, hi is a good thing that happened, low is something bad, Buffalo is something weird that happened. So, starting with the high, I found the New York City Christmas train. And I know a lot of you guys who may or may not live in New York will most likely not know about this. But essentially, every December, MTA, they bring out this old train. It's the R19 train from the 1900s. And they let the train run on Sundays. It's pretty hard to find because it's random and you don't know if you're going to get that train. I remember just like standing at my usual station and waiting for the train, and I noticed like a bunch of people pulling out their phones and filming the train coming, and I thought to myself, like, this is weird, like, why are there so many tourists at my station today? And I realized I freaking caught the train. It really felt like Polar Express without the weird animation characters. The train itself just had so much charm to it. There were like metal bars that you pull up and down, and the fans were like actual fans. There wasn't actual AC units, and there was like a lot of Christmas decor on the windows and signage that was super like vintagey, and I loved it. It was so cute. It was the first train I've ever been on where almost everybody on the train wasn't on their phones. Next is my low. I had a crazy night out this weekend. John Luke visited. He is a YouTuber. I'll put his channel here. He visited again for this month because he wanted to check out Christmas time in New York City. And one of the things he wanted to do when he was here was go out. And so, being the good host I am, I made sure he got to go out. And so I hosted my friends, and the night just turned crazy really, really fast. We didn't even make it to the club past 12 a.m. We actually had to leave the club before 12 a.m. because my friend broke his arm wrestling. Sometimes my friends and we like to arm wrestle when we're bored, but if you guys have seen those like crazy arm wrestling videos, you guys will know that it's really easy to break somebody's arm when you arm wrestle, so don't do that. Highly wouldn't recommend. It's banned in our group now. And he basically snapped his arm, and he went to the hospital, and I ended up taking care of some drunk people in our group, which, you know, it happens, and I'm usually the one that's going a little crazy. And so honestly, I'm proud of myself for being able to handle that situation, because I haven't been in that situation where I had to like take care of people. And so proud of myself. Buffalo, which is the weird thing that happened. I did a tattoo trade yesterday. And it's so funny because I told everybody that I would stop getting more tattoos, but now I'm on number 19. And I have 4 more lined up, because now that I'm a tattoo artist, a thing that we do in our industry is you can trade. So it's very common to trade with somebody else where you give them a tattoo and you get a tattoo back. And it's been so fun getting to reach out to all these talented people where I just love their work so much. And it really makes me feel like I'm an actual tattoo artist. Talked about this in the past, but I have a lot of trouble realizing and like sinking into my head that I actually did a tattoo piece for somebody. But I think in a way, getting a tattoo from someone and not having to pay for it and knowing that it was just a trade, something about that makes it feel very real. And so I got a tattoo done yesterday, and it's just so cool. It's so cool to be able to tell people that I just traded for it. And so it's right here. I'll like put a picture up too, so that's easier to see. It's like a version of a Cupid. He has like an angry face, and it's like a heart arrow. It's so freaking cute. Stick and poke. But yeah, that's my Hyla Buffalo. Moving on to my favorites. This is a series I've been doing, and so this is my fall/winterish favorites. I wanted to get some winter favorites into the mix before winter finished next year, so that you guys can take advantage of them and, you know, maximize and really milk out the winter season with these products, tips, tricks, whatever. Okay, let's get into the favorites. I have so many for this episode. I don't know what was going on, but this past season, I decided to try out a bunch of new things, and it was exciting. And so I have a bunch of new favorites. And starting out with fashion and beauty things, I got this purse. I saw this purse a long time ago, and I was like, it's so expensive, but it's like the perfect brown purse. I want this purse so bad. And I saw it on Instagram. Some influencer was wearing it, and I was like, wow, that's a perfect size, perfect slouch. But then I was like, I can't really justify buying this purse. And so I like try to forget about it. But guys, when I tell you I tried to forget about it, it did not work. I legit thought about it for so many months, and then finally when my birthday came around, I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pay for it for myself as a birthday gift on top of the other 4 birthday gifts that I somehow was able to justify that I deserved. And so I bought myself this purse, and I do not regret it. It is actually the most perfect purse ever. I don't know how it goes with everything, and it's exactly what I wanted it to be and more. Its quality has been amazing, and I could fit a 13-inch laptop, which is perfect, my tattoo supplies, which is perfect, and yeah, I'm super duper happy with it. It just really elevates a lot of my outfits. And so if you're looking for a solid, pretty like casual / like higher end looking type of purse, this is the way to go. It's from AAPI. I think after this purchase, I just realized if I think about a product a lot and I can justify why the price is so expensive, I feel like I should go for it, because I've never been disappointed at the end, because it ends up being really, really good and like exactly what I want it to be, instead of skimping out and like buying something similar like as a dupe that is cheaper, but then I get annoyed because it's not as good. There's something off about the item, and so I can't love it as much. And I feel like I easily get annoyed by those little things, because I knew that there was an alternative that I could have gone for that would have made me way happier. And I feel like at the end of the day, it's a fair trade-off, because I'm going to get a lot of use out of the product. I don't know if this is girl math, but it is what it is. It makes sense to me. Another thing that I bought is Baggu slippers. You know, and I'm realizing I should have brought this out sooner as an episode, because then you guys could have bought this during Black Friday. But it's okay. If you guys are still looking for gifts also, like some of these recommendations that I have are going to be super duper good gift ideas. I swear by them. Like I am super picky about what I put into my favorites. And so if I don't love them, they're not going to be there. But these, look at how good, look, it even matches my shirt. It's kind of nasty. I'm pulling them up. But this Baggu slipper situation, it is the perfect house slipper, and I am obsessed with this camo print. I don't really like the other prints, but this one, guys, and this blue like periwinkle rim, I love it. So comfy, so warm. It's been perfect for the winter time because my wood floors are freezing, and this has been really nice cushion while also keeping my feet warm, but not having the super fuzzy insoles, which I hate because they get too like sweaty and they smell after a while. This one's microfiber lined, so it's less gross. Another thing that I've been loving, if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you know that I've been swearing by this. The balaclava, I got 2. This is included in my annual fall haul that I always do. I mentioned this in one of my episodes, that I always do this annual fall haul. And this year I decided to buy 2 balaclavas, and they have saved my life because whenever I go outside and I'm not dressed properly because of the fit, because of something, once I put on and bring this balaclava and wear it around, I feel so much warmer. Like, it makes a huge difference to cover and keep like my ears, neck, and like bottom of my face warm. Something about it like traps heat really, really well. So I highly recommend that. Keeps me really warm. And it also keeps my hair from blowing everywhere if it's really, really windy outside. Another favorite that I have in the fashion category I'm also wearing, which is the Abercrombie & Fitch hoodies, which were mentioned in Dill's video. He actually gifted me one of them. I was obsessed, and he mentioned it too. He was like, this is my favorite hoodie. This is the best hoodie ever for so many reasons. The fit is just like very, very good. And the fabric and material is just very comforting and comfy and warm. I just love like the slouch. That's what I'm wearing. I'm wearing the brown one, which is kind of a problem because it's making my outfits look really lazy, and I just kind of want to keep wearing these hoodies because they're so comfy. If you're looking for a really solid hoodie that's really comfortable, a little bit slouchy, doesn't have the strings, and is a blank hoodie, I would highly recommend the Abercrombie & Fitch one. Another thing that I've been loving, and this is the last thing in the fashion category, is wearing really big statement necklaces, and specifically these are the ones that I've been obsessed with. I was walking around in Brooklyn, and Brooklyn tends to have a lot of pop-ups in the streets and small businesses, artists that sell their products in the streets. And I'm just walking around after a really fun day of tattooing, and this one girl was selling her jewelry in the street. And I just was so obsessed. And I think what I really, really loved about her work was I haven't really seen jewelry that looked like that. There was always something missing when I saw like bigger statement jewelry that I didn't like, that it looked fake, it felt fake. There was like something off about the piece, but she had like these perfect pieces. And this is on the higher end, which makes sense because she is a small artist. And so she's literally trying to make a living from her jewelry. I think that charm, I just like love that. And she was like telling me like, hey, I make my jewelry and stuff. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I just finished tattooing here. And she was like, oh my God, like if you ever want to stop by, I actually have my jewelry studio where I make all my jewelry really close to you. And so if you ever want to stop by, just like DM me and then I'll like let you into my building. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. So this is one of the situations where I like kept thinking about it, and like 2 months later after tattooing, I just was in the mood. I was like, I'm going to come over to your studio and just check it out. And so I messaged her and I checked out her studio, and it was so cool. It was just like metalworking. She had like the mask on, and like, she was using a torch and everything. And I was like, girl. And she was like, yeah, do you want anything? I was going to go there to buy one piece. I left with 3 pieces, guys. And I loved it so much. I love the pieces. Her channel is Occasional Lover. And she says that the reason why she called it that was because she used to get a lot of financial support from sugar daddies. And so she like named it Occasional Lover. And I thought that was so funny and quirky. But yeah, go support her. She's so cool. She's so sweet and talented. And I just love her pieces. They're really good quality. Okay, next is the beauty section. Just a few items. I've talked about this before, but in the winter, fall time, it gets really, really dry and cold in the city. And so I'm always looking for things to make sure my skin, my hair doesn't dry out. And so I've been loving castor oil, which has been helping with dry scalp because I don't know what it is this year. It's like peeling, not like dandruff, but like it's just dry. And so I've been applying castor oil to my roots and like towards the front areas and then like massaging it in, and it helps a lot after taking a shower. And then I've also been using a hair mask to keep my hair from drying out. Fuck, I can't remember what it's called. I'm just gonna put it on the screen. Oh my god, this hair mask is so good. I tried it out last week and then my hair was not oily. It felt so good. Like, it felt so good. I put it in my hair, left it in it for 10 minutes, washed it out, and then for the next like 3-4 days, it just like was perfect. And then I've also tried out a new body wash, and this is a Le Labo product. I found out about Le Labo from my friends, and they have this like citrusy scent for this shower oil, and I've never used a shower oil before. I've always been hesitant about oils because I break out really easily, and oil mixed with acne does not do well. It makes me break out even more. And so I did not want to buy this item, but I was obsessed with the smell, and I ended up looking up the ingredients, and the oil that they use is sunflower oil, which is apparently, according to online sources, non-comedogenic, which means it shouldn't break you out. And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna try it out, and if I don't like it, I'll just return it. It is so good. This is one of the moisturizing products that I'm trying out this fall winter, and I've been loving it. The smell, for one, if you guys like citrusy fresher scents, it's so good, and it stays on your body because it's an oil. And on top of that, the reason why the oil works out is because instead of using a typical shower gel, which basically dries out your skin, the Le Labo oil like applies something soft to your skin. And so after I get out the shower, my skin actually feels soft and it doesn't feel oily, which is so weird. I don't know how it works, but it's so good, and the scent stays on, and I've been loving it. So I highly recommend that product. And finally, as you guys can see, my hair and my roots, it's actually looking pretty good. And the reason why my roots growing out hasn't been like very dramatic and nasty is because of this one product. So I've been using L'Oreal's purple shampoo. And before I used this product, I was using like other dyed hair safe kind of shampoos, and they've been like turning my hair orange. But this product specifically, the L'Oreal shampoo, it has ingredients in it that offsets the color change so that you don't have like an orangey look, and it maintains the color. And so, yes, my hair has been lightening with every single wash, but it hasn't been turning orange. This is insane. And I've been really, really grateful for it, because it would have been really hard to resist re-dyeing my hair again if it weren't for this product. Next is for entertainment, and entertainment always includes music. It includes movies, shows, books, anything that I would use for leisure and entertainment. So first is an advent calendar-ish, but it's an advent calendar on TikTok. So I've been following Amy France. She is this cake baker, and every year she does a TikTok vlogmas where she posts her day in the life. They're like 1 to 3 minute TikToks, and I don't know, something about her lifestyle and just like the way she films these TikToks really does it for me, and it's so comforting and fun. And so I watch every single one of her vlogmases since she started doing them, and they've been my favorite things. Next is a few movies. So first is Wicked. Obviously, everyone's been talking about it. If you haven't seen all the press about it, I'm going to be very surprised. Knowing that they recorded it live, like I was getting chills for every single song that was in this movie. It was so good. I highly recommend it. Even if you don't like Ariana Grande, even if you don't like musicals, it's still such a good movie. Another movie I loved was We Live in Time, the movie with Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield. For both of these movies, I sobbed. I lost it in the theater. I could not stop crying. But to be fair, it's biased because I cry about everything. A lot of people said that when they watched We Live in Time, it made them believe in love again, but that's not exactly what I got from this movie. It touched me in some way because it showed parts of getting older and living out your older ages that I don't think are often shown on camera or talked about. And they showed it in such a raw, realistic way that I like got so uncomfortable. I don't think it made me believe in love again or it made me feel hopeful at all, actually. But instead it made me feel like very grounded. The other two movies are more lighthearted. They're romantic, comedy-esque, romantic movies. The Holiday, perfect for this time of year. My friend recommended to me. I know it's a classic, but I have not watched a lot of classics. I don't actually watch a lot of movies. And so this was my first time watching The Holiday. So goddamn good. If anything, that one made me believe in love. So did Under the Tuscan Sun, which is my other recommendation. Watch this on a flight. I'm adding it to my list of my favorite movies, including Top Gun and Crazy Rich Asians. Under the Tuscan Sun, I could watch it again and again. It's so good. Next is for music. I've been obsessed with this song. This is very recent, but I don't know, something about the way this song is produced, the lyrics, something. You and I by Anthony Russo.
Just dance, make it all okay. I know your head is a lot like mine, figuring out what it wants to say.
Every time it plays, I'm like, like I have to like stop for a second and be like, that's a good ass song. Also been obsessed with Haircut by Ryan Beatty, which is such a funny artist because I feel like he was very like pop teens-esque kind of artist. But the song, guys, I've listened to at least once a day.
Wake me up when the days are over, reminiscing of a life I had. I smile long and feel the closure. I finally feel like me again. Sacrifice.
And then with this season, I've been obsessed with 3 artists. I've been listening to them on repeat. First is Suki Waterhouse. I just went to her concert yesterday, which is why I know she's going to be a new favorite for the winter. And I'm just obsessed with her music. I've never really heard it that much before the concert. And then I think the concert really did it for me.
Know that I got this. I'm gonna put some goddamn moves on you, babe. I know you need it. Sleeping around is a stopping the bleeding to turn it, 'cause that's when you said you were leaving.
Also have been loving Malcolm Todd. He is so good. He's very similar to Dominic Fike. And so I'm really happy to find another artist that is very similar to him that also produces like rock indie-esque music, rock pop kind of music.
Oh yeah, I've been sleeping on the sofa, got my head under my shoulders. What do you know? My one and only has places to go.
And finally, Olivia Dean. I've been listening to her for a really long time, but I've just really been in the mood for her music. She ended up in my top 5 artists, and I listen through her music at least once a day, like all of it. I know the lyrics to every single one of her songs. Like that's how much I've listened to her this past fall and winter.
I wanna talk, but the football's on. Is holding hands too much to ask? I know you can multitask. I know I read your text, and it ain't hard to reply.
And finally, in the music category, I do this thing on Spotify for my playlist, and you can totally do this in any of your music apps. It doesn't have to be Spotify, but my favorite playlist that I've made, and I realize not a lot of people do this, so I would highly recommend it, but I have a playlist and it's called New, and this playlist is basically where I put my newest 20 to 30 songs, and if it ever goes over 30, I have to delete the earliest song I put into the playlist. And so basically the point of this playlist is to have the new music that I'm obsessed with, and then I want to know better, because recently I've been noticing that because now that we have Spotify and it's a thing, and it's never been a thing when I was younger, it's been really hard for me to know a song as well as I used to when I was little and really memorize the lyrics. And so I put it in this playlist so that I can just play my newest favorites on repeat so I know them in and out. And when I was younger, it was easier for me to know lyrics to songs and like know them super duper well because the same like 20 songs would play on the radio. And so obviously every time a song came on the radio, like I knew it and I could sing it. But like now it's gone to the point where like I just get so much new music added to my playlist so often that sometimes a song will play in a playlist and I'm like, what? Have I heard this? I didn't even know I added it to the playlist. And I really want to know my playlist inside and out. And so this is a way for me to easily do that without having to scroll through my infinitely long playlist and finding the new music. And also, with that being said, I mentioned this in the last episode. If you guys want to see what other music I listen to and you think you might have similar music tastes as I do, I always link my Spotify account in the description of every single one of my videos so that you can check it out. If you guys have any recommendations, any favorites, please, please, please comment them down below because I would love to try out new things for the fall and winter. And I would love to hear what you guys are obsessed with currently. I'm genuinely interested. I love listening and watching people's favorites videos and favorite posts. And actually, Amy, the girl that I mentioned in the beginning who does the advent calendars, she does favorites on her stories. And I love that so much. I love seeing her favorites. So yeah, that's just one example. So please send me your favorites. Finally, for the book that I've been loving, and this is the only book I've read this season because it's so goddamn long, A Little Life. And I talked about this in my last episode, but it is this is the best way to describe it. It is the hardest book to read, but in the best way possible. It is the most painful, sad, touching book you could read. It will claw your heart out. It will turn your insides inside out. But you want to keep reading it and you want to keep suffering. That is the best way to describe it. It's a hard book to read. It was also why I took so long to finish it because I needed to take a break every 10 pages because it was just too dark. Next section is food. My food favorites for fall and winter. I have this edamame salad that I'm obsessed with making, and I make a big batch and then I have it for a week. I'm going to put what I put in my salad, and I found it online, but I just basically turned it into my own recipe, and I make sure to add lentils and edamame to get a lot of protein, and it's actually really low calorie for the amount of protein that you get. So highly recommend adding edamame or lentils to any of your meals if you're looking for like a low calorie, high protein food. But I'm obsessed with this salad. It is very refreshing and it is easy to make, and I just love meal prepping it. I've also been in love with Form Protein. It is a plant-based protein that is from the UK, and so it has better food regulations, and I know there isn't as much crap in the Form Protein as there is with other proteins out there, and I love the taste of their vanilla flavor. I alternate between making a smoothie and adding it with milk and bananas and just putting it into like water and milk and just shaking it like a proper protein shake. But I've been loving that. Also been loving dark hot chocolate. I am a big dark hot chocolate girl. I don't like regular hot chocolate as much because it's too sweet and I just kind of get tired of it really fast. But dark hot chocolate is really good. I really want to try having it with some coffee. I heard it's really good to offset the sweetness as well. And I've just basically bought cacao, and I get the semi-sweet cacao so that it's like dark still, but it's still a little bit sweet. Finally, I've been obsessed with adding Greek yogurt to my overnight oats and my oatmeal in general. I've also been loving frozen banana with Greek yogurt. I think I've just been loving Greek yogurt a lot. As you can see, I'm in my like protein gym phase. It's been changing the way I've been seeing food. And instead of looking at it in a way where, trigger warning, I'm like thinking about how can I eat less to be skinnier. I'm like, how can I nourish my body and get protein in so that I have energy for the day and so that I'm not constantly hungry and so that I can also work out and lift and run faster, like whatever it is, like so that I can have a better workout and feel stronger. Next section is habits. Habits that I've been using, subscribing to, which reminds me, don't forget to subscribe, follow, and rate the podcast if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify podcasts. Anyways, that's aside. So for habits I've been loving and doing is getting up with the sun. So I actually get up later now. Instead of getting up at 5:30 in the morning when it's pitch black, I actually get up at 6:30 because that's when the sun starts rising. And I've been loving that a little bit more because it's easier to get up, and I feel like I don't know why I was even bothering with getting up so early before. When I would be up at like 5:30, it'd be pitch black, and I would leave the gym when it was like basically still dark, and I was like, what am I doing? Like, why am I up so early? So now I'm more reasonable, and I wake up at 6:30 with the sun, and it's really nice. It feels right in a way. And also I've been getting back into just walking as like a thing to do for fun. I used to do this when I first moved to New York. For the first year that I lived in the city, I actually walked a crap ton just because I loved it. I loved walking and seeing what was going on in the city, seeing the buildings, the architecture, and I just loved listening to podcasts. I'm always like laughing to myself, which makes me look psycho. It's a really good way for me to regulate a lot of my emotions if I'm feeling stressed or angry or hormonal in some type of way, instead of like, spiraling. It's definitely going to continue this habit because I know I'm going to be fighting demons with seasonal depression starting January to April pretty much, and I'm going to need these walks, a lot of trips, so that I can survive this next winter. Not to be dramatic, but it is pretty bad. So, and finally, I've been deciding to slow down during the weekdays, and I don't actually make as many plans anymore from Monday through Friday. I used to be somebody who has a lot going on, whether it was a Sunday, a Monday, a Thursday. I always had something, but now I spend most of my weekdays at home and not doing anything. I just cancel my plans. I don't make plans. I say no to things now. And I spend a lot of my Mondays especially, which is really weird and a privilege, relaxing and like deep cleaning my apartment. So it's been really amazing for my mental health, my sanity, not having so many things going on. And I feel less antsy, less of a need to always have something going on. Finally, my miscellaneous. I have been loving this pen. I think it is my new favorite pen. This is going to be really controversial, but I think I like this pen better than the infamous Muji .38 pen. Uniball Deluxe Micro. They say it's a 0.5, but it writes like a 0.3. It is so good. I think I like this better than I like the Muji because the feeling of the metal casing is just a lot more comfortable and natural for me to hold than the like plastic of a Muji pen. So I've been loving this, and it feels a lot more like refined. I don't know what it is. It just runs smoother. So I've been loving this pen a lot. I know some people are going to come at me because I know the Muji .38 is like really famous. And I did really like it, but you guys should try this one out before you say anything. Finally, I had 2 game nights this past fall and winter, and I played these 2 games at these 2 board game nights. First was That Escalated Quickly and Really Loud Librarians. They're not really common games, but I love these games. And a huge part of it is because I'm not a big strategy kind of girl. So like games like Catan or Monopoly, I'm not very good at. And so they frustrate me instead of actually like being a fun time, because I'm like, God, like do better, girl. Like why can't you just win? And I always get frustrated and overthink it. But these two games are really fun. They're like word categorization pattern games. Bought them to play with 12 people in my apartment, and everyone said they had such a good time. And a lot of people asked me for the name of the games because they wanted to buy it themselves. And so I can confirm that it wasn't just a good time for me, it was a good time for a lot of people, and they loved these two games. So if you're looking for some new board games to try out, and it's going to be perfect for the holiday time when, you know, everyone is gathering and looking for fun things to do inside, these two board games are really fun go-tos. I definitely need to host another board game night next year in the winter. Anyways, I hope you guys try out something from this list, or if you guys love anything from this list, let me know, because I totally agree. I love everything on this list. Again, if you guys have other recommendations, put them down below. If you guys don't have recommendations, the least that you guys can do is subscribe, like, comment on this video, and don't forget to support the podcast by sharing it and favoriting it and rating it, all those good things. And I hope you guys have the best week ever, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.